What's up, everybody?
Hi, welcome back.
Season 2, episode 5.
Oh,
I always find it kind of funny because I was watching like RuPaul's Drag Race a little bit ago, and they filmed like Christmas episodes, but clearly they're not filmed like that week.
oh, I guess that's a good
You know
point.
what I mean? So I always find it funny when everyone's got to act all Christmassy. Like, could you imagine you're on RuPaul's Drag Race and all of a sudden they're like, it's all decked out with like snow and trees, and you're like, wow, Christmas.
I'm trying to think of the Christmas episodes. I know they did them early on. Have they done ones in the newer
They
seasons?
did, I think, in the last couple of years, because RuPaul be gotten the Christmas songs out now.
Oh, that's true.
I do like the one.
Available on iTunes.
No, she's got the one that came out like a year or two ago, Christmas
There's
song.
some good ones.
Yeah, and then
There
I
is
guess
some
she's
good
got
ones.
a new one that she just announced.
Well, all I know is when I'm watching the show and when I binge watch the seasons, like at the end when like, you know, the sad girl goes home and then they all come out and they have like the signs. And
Oh,
they get
yeah.
I don't know. I think the song has changed.
They change it all the time. Yeah.
Correct. And the last two, RuPaul. They have been exceptional. Because I'm doing a shoulder shimmy every time at the end. I'm just getting it with the girls on the catwalk.
They're really good. The catwalk song's always really good. But when you think about it, I mean, it's brilliant because she's getting paid every time shit. I mean, she's like making her own music, and then every single time that's on, she's getting more money. That's like when they do the musicals or anything.
Well,
they're
what
like,
I was going to say is I've always thought this has been so ingenious. What's the correct saying? So genius?
Genius, yeah.
At the end of the season, they do the music video where they have, the finalists in that music video. Do they do that? They do it every year.
They do it every year, yeah, every
year.
season, yeah.
And it's so smart because it's cross-promotional.
Oh, yeah.
So you have everyone from the show who's now going to go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or wherever it's available.
But sometimes they have like there's always one girl who's like, doesn't know how to rap, and they're always doing a rap, and they're just like, I am here on Drag Race, and I'm rapping, and you're just like, yikes.
In the earlier ones, the newer seasons are great. There are so many good queens that make it to the finale.
Okay, if you go on Drag Race and you're not already like getting your disses ready and your songs, like who's going to Drag Race and they're just like, wow, I have to write a rap or a song about me? Like if I'd go do Drag Race all day, film, and I go home and I would literally practice all of my reads.
Oh, of course.
I would just be like, that bitch's hairline was so fucked up. Okay, what can I say?
You just have secret Polaroids of everyone. And
no, I'm just be washing in the
home.
shower and be like, who can I fucking dog tomorrow? Because every time it happens, like what was I watching one? I think it was this year's UK Drag Race, which was really good. And they do the puppet challenge, and like, it was
so good.
So bad. This
like
year's
bad
was
as in,
so
like, they
not great.
Didn't, oh, no.
Like a couple people did really good, but clearly they just didn't realize it was coming maybe, or they weren't prepared. But like a lot of them got up there and they just like didn't have good shit to say.
Yikes.
But like, I would be in my hotel room just being like, I'm going to fuck this bitch up with these jokes.
Well, and the other one is Snatch Game. Now, for those of you who don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race,
you're fucked. I don't even know why you're listening to this at this moment.
You stumbled across the wrong podcast if you are not a fan. If you don't even know the brief summary of what RuPaul's Drag Race is.
You should have an idea of what Drag Race is.
I mean, there's genuinely like 50 seasons altogether.
Oh,
if you paired up the different geographical shows. Yep. Snatch Game is RuPaul's Drag Race version of the Match Game. And it's really cute. And they've been doing it since season 2.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Now, I do want to acknowledge girls in like interviews after truly talk about how it's a race. So like every day you're doing something different. Every day you're getting hit. You have interviews. You have all the stuff. They're tell us about your dead mom. And so you have like all these emotional interviews and stuff.
Right. And you're doing all the confessionals. And so, I mean, you just got to be exhausted anyway. But like some queens go and they're like, I'm going to be this lady. And that person is not funny at all. And some people want to be like, I want to be the best Janet Jackson, when they're like, but we don't know much about her. So what makes her funny? You know, a lot of people do Beyonce and everyone's like, I don't know what the fuck she sounds like.
Yeah. Like personality wise, unless you create the personality, like you do something really fucked up. But I don't know. There have been a couple seasons that were stellar.
Oh yeah.
There's always one person that bombs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Usually. Yeah.
But there've been a couple seasons where it was not a good episode. Like, it's just a struggle bus.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, and it's improv, and a lot of people don't get that and haven't been in a lot of improv stuff. And RuPaul, like, she's really nice, but she also tries to trip you up or ask you questions. So it can be, I could see it being weird. Like, I try to go like, okay, if I was on Snatch Game, what would I say? But you have to get a character that's just really versatile, and you got to be you got to go extreme with it. But some people get in their head and they want to be that character so bad that it's hard for them to break out of it.
Well, a lot of people have auditioned with a character like in the audition video,
Right.
and then don't want to do that character. Here's the thing. I'm going to give everyone listening the key to RuPaul's Drag Race. Just listen to whatever fucking RuPaul says.
Yeah.
Whatever Mama Ru says, you do.
Well, there has been a few times where she's like, I don't think you should do that. And then they
Yes,
they
there have been a
smash it.
couple,
But
but-
RuPaul's usually like, I'm the judge here. So
If you get more than 3 follow-up questions, you need to change whatever that is.
Well, it's like Project Runway, where Tim Gunn comes in and he's like talking to people and he's like, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? But he's not a judge. He's
Right.
just in there to like
He's a
build
mentor.
morale and check. But like RuPaul is literally in there
Right.
checking on what you're doing.
You
And
have
then
the CEO in
yeah,
there, quality control.
the person that gets to vote
Yes.
at the end. And I find it funny. Sometimes queens are like, fuck that. But here's the other thing. When you're killing it every episode, and let's say you've been there for 5 weeks, which might be, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
I could just see, each week, if you're killing it and you're doing a really good job, and then you get to Snatch Game and RuPaul's like, well, I don't think you should do that. And you're like, well, the last 7 times you liked what I did.
Right.
So
Sometimes,
I know best.
sometimes your gut instinct is right, but I'm telling you now, if
Yeah.
RuPaul's like, why aren't you doing this?
sometimes it's
you need to
really
change
obvious
that.
where they're like Derek Barry, they're like, why don't you be Britney? And he's like, well, and they're like, oh my God. Like,
Right.
you literally play this person. We've been waiting. And I get that you don't want to be typecast, but like, this is what we want to see.
That's your job. That's your job outside of RuPaul's Drag Race.
This person.
You
But
impersonate
sometimes
a
they don't get the
celebrity.
rights to it. Like, there's certain people that want to do certain things and they don't get it cleared.
Yeah, or like you want to be someone for a talent show where you have to come out and do like one of their numbers,
Yeah.
but if
I
you ain't
heard,
getting that copyright.
Coco from All Stars wanted to do like a Janet Jackson and couldn't get it
Of
cleared.
course. And then
and
ended
they
up
made her
doing
change it.
the
didn't.
wildest little dance routine, right? It was
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It sucks because like people want to do really well, but somebody's got to go home. And then sometimes they're just like, you did the worst, but nobody did horrible.
right. Where they
But-
talk about splitting hairs. They're like, hey, sorry.
It's just like the season of All Stars with Adore Milano when like Michelle just kind of goes in super harsh on the critiques.
Right.
Uh,
Well, because Michelle Visage makes a relationship with these girls after their season. So when she travels and she's kind of the tour mom,
Yep.
and then they get back in there, you don't really have that rapport anymore.
Well, they have to be harsh, but I feel like the newer seasons, even like the newer All Stars, they just a little bit nicer. They still read them, but like, I think the audience has changed a little bit where we don't need you to go ham on all these people. We just want you to give them a little bit of critiques to be better, but they're already like winners or they already did really well.
Right.
So we're not expecting them to get roasted.
But even in the newer seasons, I think what's changed the most, at least from me being a viewer where I've basically been an adult the whole time I've been watching,
Right.
a lot of the girls on the newer seasons, like, grew up watching Drag Race,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
much younger, you know what I mean? Much
Right,
younger than
right.
us. Like, I'm 33. There's queens there who are like 21,
Yeah.
22,
Yeah.
so young, which is great. And they all are just incredible. But a lot of them grew up watching the show, and the girls in those earlier seasons never had Drag Race to grow up on.
Right.
They had maybe like Next Top Model, but that was like
Yeah.
mean, you know what I mean?
Top Model, Project Runway,
Yeah.
those were kind of the big.
but there's no
design ones.
representation.
Yeah.
There's no queer representation. There's no
Project Runway, you'd have a couple
but
gays
there was
on there, but
I
it was
think-
never like draggy or like everybody wasn't gay. I sometimes forget when you watch Drag Race that like most of the time it's just all gay men.
Yeah.
There's a few times where they'll have like somebody trans. Think of the UK season, they had a straight woman, they had a straight man. But it's weird that sometimes you just watch it because they're always dressed up in girls, but I forget like, oh man, these are like my people. Like these are would be my friends, you know.
One of the coolest parts is that, you know, in these newer seasons, they kind of did it in the earlier seasons, but wherein RuPaul asks them, like, what would you say to your younger self?
Oh yeah.
Like, what would you say to young Tommy at 4 years old? I hate that part. I'm not a crier, right? Well, that's a lie. There's no.
I'm not a crier. When I cry, I don't cry all day.
Right. It's just
I don't cry when I sleep.
If I cry, it's just like once a day. It's not like multiple times.
I only cry once a day for 7 hours.
Right. Just once. Which is that one stint.
So at the end of the season, usually when there's like 4 or 5 girls, there's a lot of gay people and trans people to watch the show. So RuPaul will get like a framed picture and she'll hold it up. And like, it's supposed to be where everyone kind of cries.
Right. I cry, bitch.
You're talking to your younger self. But you'll just be this like crazy, crazy drag queen. And she'll hold up the picture and she'll be like, what do you have to say to 4-year-old Michael? And you're like, what the fuck? Or they'll be like, or 3-year-old Bob. Yeah. You're like, it just completely throws me off with the real name.
What would you say to 5-year-old Toby? And you're like, what?
But you never hear their real name. And so whenever they say the name at the end of the season, you're just like, oh shit. Like if you say that Ryan.
Right.
And you're like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know your name. And it just completely throws you off.
Mm-hmm.
But I always find that funny. But then, I don't know. It's great. I love that. I love that they get to do that part. But sometimes I feel like they're just like, just give me the tears. Give me the tears. If you want to be on TV.
I don't know how they do it too. It's all, clock me on it. It's always the last one that fucking gets me. It's always, and it's not a culmination of like, like it doesn't get more sad as it goes on. But I swear the last one, I'm always like, I believe in you.
It's like in Survivor. They do that at the very end of Survivor where you gotta pitch to everybody like why you should win. And people are like, well, when I was 8, my leg got blown off and they reattached it. And then my families all died and I'm the only one left. And so you should vote for me for the $1 million. And everyone's like, And then there's other people that are like, well, I played a cutthroat game and I'm sorry I stabbed you all in the back. But that's just how I do the game Survivor. And everyone's like,
oh yeah.
Like my wife has a heart condition. And I told her when I'd come on the show, I'd do whatever I could to get that $1 million. Everyone's like, they write out that person's name down.
So that'd be like Johnny Fairplay, in like early 2000s? For those of you who didn't watch Survivor, you explain it because you do so well.
In Survivor, towards the end, they have like the family challenge and they'll bring like a brother, sister, whoever to come. And they usually compete on something with the family member.
Yes, to like win that time.
And then if
special bonding time.
If you win, you usually get to pick a couple people to go spend time with the family member. And this guy, Johnny Fairplay, his brother or somebody's friend or somebody came.
Brother or cousin.
He came and he was like, Mom's dead, man.
Well, they all run out and then you get the emotional hug. Because on Survivor, they haven't seen their family, presumably at least a month. Yeah. I mean, at least. Yep. We don't know if they have
real days. No, you're fucked. They're like, here's your cup of rice. Fuck you. Oh, you need contact lens solution. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Here's your meds. Fuck off. They don't care.
But it's always like almost like the slow Baywatch run and they embrace and then I can't remember who it was.
It was his like family member or something.
Yeah, his family member came out and he hugged him and the family member was crying and he goes, Grandma didn't make it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you see, and he's this blonde guy, curly blonde, and he's just immediately like in tears. Yeah. He's so upset. And then he walks over and Jeff, the host, is like, ask him what's going on. And he's like, my grandma was supposed to be the one who came here today, but
oh my God,
she obviously didn't make it. Yep. And they do the challenge and they basically let this motherfucker win.
Yeah.
And then him and it's an embrace. And I want to say it was just the two of them that won the challenge. Yeah. So they got to go eat the coconuts and fucking have the steak dinner
or something. Yeah.
And he walks off and they're kind of smiling, laughing. And then it cuts to his confessional and he's like, My grandma's sitting at home right now, probably watching this on TV. Sorry, Grandma.
It was like one of the best plays. I mean, obviously it sucks because other people want to hang out with their family, but like the fact that you set that shit up ahead of time to like, hey, if you make it this far, and that everyone fell for it. It was it was so good. It's probably one of the best moments on TV.
I would say one of the best moments of like reality TV.
Yeah, it was so good. Well, and then same with like the challenge, like if people are smart, they reach out to people ahead of time.
Right.
So Johnny Bananas had his sister write all these notes. Oh my God. And then he's sticking them in everybody's bags, and nobody could figure it out because the handwriting was different.
Yep.
But he's always thinking about other shit he can do.
But I wonder if they went to him at a certain point and they were like, you got to fucking chill out. How are you going to stop him from bringing more fucking sticky notes?
I mean, yeah.
Because they didn't find out. This motherfucker, Johnny Bananas, if you're listening, can you just add me on Instagram, please? I know you probably
Alexa
have a girlfriend.
wants to be on the challenge so bad.
It's not even that. I have questions about people who have been on it and power dynamics, and I want to know behind the scenes. And it's like I've seen every season.
She'll fuck you on the show.
You're horrible. But if a casting director is listening,
yeah,
maybe. Just kidding. I would not.
No, it's so weird because you're on the challenge or any of these shows. Survivor sucks because you have to be smelling horrible. You get to shower in the ocean, you know what I mean? Like shower.
The teeth brushing. I didn't know that. It was one of the earlier seasons and they like won like a luxury challenge. Right. Bitch. They were all fucking passing the same toothbrush around.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I want to say it was back on like Richard's season, and he's like brushing his teeth, and then he's done, and he passes it to the girl, and she is just so fucking excited to brush her teeth.
You know, like out there, you're like, I mean, it's probably the worst conditions. And I would love to do Survivor. I've talked about this before, but like, I don't think my body would be able to handle it because of my arthritis stuff, where my body gets stressed out. I get cold sores and like, it just freaks out. I'd be there for like 2 weeks and then Jeff would be like, hey, Ryan, we got to pull you. And I'd be like, no. But if I like run wrong or I step on my feet wrong, or
you might do well in Big Brother.
Yeah, but I don't like Big Brother though, because it's too much. It's too boring for me.
I would do really well in Big Brother if I could sleep in my own isolated room, because if
oh yeah, see, that's the other thing, bitch. You're living with all these dum-dums and they don't want you to be comfortable. On the newer season of Big Brother, I don't know if it's the last couple of years, but they'll have shit that'll like, it'll undo the last week or days of anything that happened. So like, and I haven't watched it, but you're like, well, I'm going to play this card. And that basically rewinds the time back 3 days and undoes the vote. I don't know. I that seems really nice, but I feel like Survivor, even though there's these rules and they do change things, it's pretty much the same game every time. Right. With Big Brother, I think every year they're like, how can we fuck this up a little bit more and make it crazy? Because there are challenges, but like, it's more you being locked up with these people in a house. Where Survivor, you could like walk around an island and
they'll move you to a different island. Yeah. Like, this was all the crazy shit. I was gonna say that would be like reality TV, but what would you call like Catfish?
Oh man,
depressing. It was your old roommate who, like, I would come hang out with you and we would just watch TV, and your roommate looked up like the top 10 best Catfish episodes. And I want to say he watched those, but then said some episodes were so good, he let that snowball into the season. And so he was watching like all of the best seasons in a row. And he's like, well, at this point, I basically have to watch all of them.
Yeah. No, Catfish is I mean, it's sad, but also like, it's so crazy. Like, you'd be dating somebody and you've never seen, there's like, hey, let's FaceTime. Like, oh, babe, sorry, my phone's broke.
My camera's broke.
My camera's broke. And I'm like, what the fuck? How are you dating somebody for a year? Some people, it was like 3 years.
Yeah.
They've never FaceTimed or seen their face, or like all you're doing is chatting on the phone.
Or even heard their voice, you know?
I'm like,
or you're talking to someone and then they're having their cousin or their sister talk to you on the phone, and it's just like 2 people or like 3 to 4 people you're messaging with that are the same person.
Yeah. Well, that's like older people. Like, I'd see people that are like, oh, I'm in a relationship with this person and they live in Egypt and we're going to hang out in New York. And I'm like,
yeah, but I have to send them money first for the ticket.
They need a new whatever, a new computer, a new phone or something. I'm like, what the fuck? And you've never seen this person? And they're just like, yep, it's my girlfriend. I'm like, and here's the thing. Like for our parents' generation, right? They're always like, don't talk to strangers. Got to be careful. Don't talk to strangers. And for that whole generation, all these older people to tell us not to talk to strangers. And who's the ones talking to strangers?
Online.
All of them.
Yes.
All of them. You're like, hey, bitch, you're only 15. Better not talk to strangers online. And now they're like, oh, hey, sexy man. You want to chat, BB? And they're like, oh, I got a girlfriend now. People. You don't have a girlfriend that lives in another country that you've never seen.
I had a boyfriend that lived in a different state and everyone fucking read me.
Well, yeah, when you start dating somebody, okay, it's easy to get pictures online of other people, right? It's easy to like make fake Instagrams and get fake pictures and stuff. It's easy. But there's FaceTime video now. You can't really fake. I mean, you can fake it, but like
when we first started dating, I didn't have an iPhone yet. So like we couldn't FaceTime, so we would just talk on the phone.
Skype.
Followed him on Instagram for like 3 years. Shoot my shot, and then we were dating. Like we ended up dating like long distance, and every single person I talked to, every single person was like, "Ooh, bitch, you getting catfish."
Well, I mean,
rightfully so. You want to make sure you're covering your bases, but like that was really tough. Was like having everyone catfish me, and then actually getting to like go on the princess dates and like vacations and stuff, and I just was like, Thank God.
Yeah, people are just looking out for you because like I see it all the time where people are in these like relationships with people that aren't real.
Or someone's in a relationship with like a celebrity that's very clearly not real.
Yeah, people are like, oh, my girlfriend, Kim Kardashian. And you're like, yeah. And how much money do you have to send this bitch every week?
$3,000.
No, my favorite is on Instagram. They'll be like... They'll be like, hey, it's me, Michael Jackson. I didn't really die, but I need you to send me money. And they're like, okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I get the, hi, my name's Tom, and I'm looking for a sugar baby to give weekly allowance of $200.
Yeah, if you could just give me all your bank deets.
Does that interest you? And
yeah.
I'm just like, oh,
nobody, no government, no American government needs a goddamn gift card. Okay?
Right.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but... Nobody needs a gift card for anything.
Right.
No prepaid gift card. Right. Nothing.
Right. Don't go to your local grocery store and buy some gift cards and read the phone number or read.
It's just wild. It's wild. But, people are so lonely. I mean, I don't want to shit on people, but like people just are like, oh, I want something so bad that you kind of overlook this stuff. But like, it sucks when people get scammed all the time. It's just really sad. And then they're like, well, I lost all my money because I gave it to this girlfriend.
I was going to say my heart gets scammed.
I mean, same thing. But one of my dad's friends dated this stripper for a while.
Yeah.
And,
but
I mean, and again, I wasn't there, right? I wasn't there.
All of our hands are if you're watching, all of our hands are up. Well, here's the thing. If you are only allowed to see someone or have a relationship with someone at their work, while they are working
at a strip club.
Correct. I was trying not to pinpoint it that much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's probably not your girlfriend.
Correct. Probably not your girlfriend, probably not your boyfriend. If you have to go see a girl at Nordstrom's to shop with her, if you have to see a girl at Lululemon to shop with her, she probably isn't going to necessarily think you're trying to date her.
Well, yeah, and it's like I just felt so bad for him because he was like, my girlfriend. And again, I wasn't there. I don't know. But he was only hanging out with her at the strip club.
Correct.
So my best friend dated a dancer for a while. But it was different. Like they lived together.
Yep.
She would go out and work and all these guys would give all the monies and
they would
have
buy
their regulars.
Yep, they'd buy presents for her and probably the boyfriend.
Probably him.
Yeah. I wasn't really like too concerned with it, right? Because he's not my bestie boo. Right. But once our dad told us that he was buying her like diamond bracelets and like expensive, like lavish gifts.
Yeah.
That was when we were like, all right, we might need to intervene a little bit.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I even talked to my brother's friends and, you know, they'll be sucked up in buying people shit. And you're just like, ugh. I don't know. I just say like,
I think what you're trying to get at is it's really hard to see people taken advantage of.
yeah. And I think it's good to buy people stuff. It's good. Like some people, that's their deal. They're like, hey, bitch, I want to buy you some shoes. And we're like, all right, showing them titties. And that's it. That's the extent of it, right? But like when people think that they're actually like with somebody in a relationship with somebody and they think that like, oh, I'll help you do this thing, that means that I'm in a relationship with you when it's clearly not.
Right.
Long distance relationships suck because it puts so much emphasis on the hangout. So like me and Greg, for example, you know, we start dating. It's like, hey, come over for a pizza. I'm like, okay. Or come over for a movie. But when it's long distance and somebody lives in California, you only get that vacation time. So you hang out for the weekend or you hang out for a week.
Yep.
And it's got to be great. And it is great. It's usually like, oh my God, so fun. And then you go back to your own shit. But you don't ever have those little moments of like, hey, just come over. So then when you do like actually spend a long time with people, then it's like, it's so hard to make that transition. It's
you have to relish in the plans you're looking forward to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's I think was the most challenging. It's like the double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Like that's really what you have to look forward to in a long-term relationship, or that's really what you have to look forward to in a long-distance relationship.
Right.
It was like, oh, I can't wait to see you. You're going to come see me next month.
Right,
Perfect.
right.
It's like only 2 more Sundays and I'll see you.
Yeah. And you're just like sad the whole time.
Yep.
You're like, I'm so lonely, but
then your
I get to see
vacations-
my boyfriend in a month.
But then when you hang out, your hangouts are like vacation.
Right,
It's
right.
not like what you're... Spoiler. It's not like what it would be like normally.
Sometimes, but that's the other thing is like, some people actually make that transition and they do it really well.
I did not. Let's be honest. I did not.
But that's the thing. It's like the get rich quick scheme where you see the one person who invested in gold in 1939 and you're like, wow, I should invest in gold. Like you see certain people, you see certain people that do that and you're like, wow, there's hope for me, you know?
Right.
Somebody that met somebody online and they moved in and it worked really well.
Never mind.
You know what I mean? And then
I got ahead of myself.
you know, they're like, I saw Steve and Jessica do it, so I'm good. And then it's like, But everybody's got to be on the same page. And long distance shit sucks because sometimes people are like, want it more than the other person. Sometimes people like, I think some people just want that like virtual girlfriend.
I liked it because it gave me structure. I liked it because I looked forward to like FaceTime or a phone call every day.
Yeah.
It was like routine. And at the time when we started talking and I met him, like I was just competitive lifting. So I fucking did not have time for a boyfriend.
Yeah.
I didn't have time for a physical boyfriend. If you want me to be honest, like I would wake up and go to the gym and go to work or have all day off and have a majority at the gym and then go to another gym in the evening.
Damn.
And so I was like, when are we fucking? Like we're not. So...
But relationships too aren't always about all that stuff. It's just having somebody to like support you.
Right.
But I mean, I've gotten in my head sometimes where I just work on projects and then I'm like, well, I don't have time for anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought like, oh, I can't be successful or I can't have a relationship till I'm successful.
Mm-hmm.
So for the longest time, I was like, well, none of this shit's going to work out until I'm successful with my music and my art or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm like, oh, well, actually, I really like being in a relationship because it gives me the structure. Sorry, I don't want to shit all over you.
Oh my God.
But like, it
What
gives
is
me a little bit
this?
of like stability to be able to do those things. So it's kind of, I know, humble brag. But yeah, relationships never feel like they're going to work. They never feel like they come in the right time, you know?
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know what that
But
means.
like I wasn't looking for anything really. Like I was kind of hanging out with this dude and he was like, it was just like not great for me.
What does not great mean? Sorry. I
Not
could just
great.
keep going
It was
with
just
I
like,
could just keep going with the jokes.
yeah. So like it would be like, Christmas time or Thanksgiving, be like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm busy with my family. Okay. Like Christmas time. Like, hey, you want to hang out? Oh, I got my parents over. I'm like, okay. Can I drop some shit off to you? Oh, probably not great. And I was like, bitch. You know what I mean? You're telling me we're hanging out, fucking, we spent a lot of time together and you're going to deny me coming over to drop shit off. I mean, sure. I think I went over the next day or whatever to drop shit off, but like, who gives a fuck? December 26th, Boxing Day, bitch. But that's the thing that irritates me is like, if a good friend of mine on Christmas was like, hey, I want to drop a couple things off, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, come on over. I don't give a fuck if anybody was here. If my grandma's ghost was here, come on over. But to like be denied that option at that time, I was just like,
well, it's very jarring.
This is not great for me.
Yeah.
And I enjoy hanging out and spending time, but if that's how it's going to be, then not great. I don't know. When it comes to holidays, like I want to be able to like look forward to spending time with somebody. I shouldn't have to fucking ask.
Right.
If you're in a relationship right now, this is my advice. If you're in a relationship right now and you have to fucking ask what you're doing on Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's Day, or your birthdays, if you have to ask, hey babe, what are we doing for Thanksgiving? And he's like, well, I don't know. Fuck that person. Fuck him or her. You should, if you're in a good relationship with somebody, you shouldn't have to wonder if your guys are going to hang out on a fucking Christmas.
Right.
Unless it's like, oh, you work, I got to go see my parents in North Carolina. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Right. Are you going to get the day off? Like, that shit's different. But like, you shouldn't have to go like, hey, babe, what are we doing for Thanksgiving? It's like, well, I don't know. I was thinking about, I don't know if we could hang out. Fuck that person. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to work.
Yeah, unless you're like freshly dating.
Unless you started dating like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Probably don't need to be like brought over to the family. But if you're
in all the Christmas photos,
if you started dating in fucking August, you should be hanging out on Thanksgiving.
You should have that family pass.
Christmas. Sorry, you wanted to put your dick in me. We're hanging out on Christmas.
You are obligated.
So earlier today, we were just talking about like age differences, especially like in high school and stuff. And like, we had a pretty good conversation about it, but
yeah, we basically like, I was just thinking about how 2 years, like if, I'm 33. So if I dated someone who was 29, right? And I'm like, oh, that's not a big deal. Bitch, that's like a senior dating a freshman.
Yeah.
That feels wrong.
And what I find interesting is when you're in high school, obviously you're only like, what, 16? Bitch, that's 18, minuscule time you've been on planet Earth. And I feel like because you haven't been on Earth that long and your puberty and all that, your time is so weird.
Right.
Because you only have those years that you can compare stuff to. So when you're like, oh my God, you're a junior dating a senior? Wow. Mm-hmm. Like literally 1 year difference. Maybe not even that. It might be like 8 months difference. Then you're just like, oh my God, did you hear he's dating a senior?
Right.
And then now it should be like, well, yeah, he's 10 years older than me. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like it just, I just find it really interesting what we used to care about so much in high school. Mm-hmm. If you wore 2 different color socks in my high school, you would have to move high schools. You know what I mean? Like, I swear to God, if you wore, if you wore the same shirt 2 days in a row, like accidentally, that would be the end of it.
I graduated in 2009. I'm like, bitch, if you like, this was back when like Hollister, Abercrombie, those were all like top tier brands that you had to fucking wear. So for those of you who are super fucking young, like I had to wear Hollister pants. I fucking had to. If you didn't, you didn't get to sit at the fucking lunch table. Like it wasn't like someone was there like, are you not in your Hollister pants?
Hollister, that's wild.
Yeah, you had to, it was the certain markings on the butt of the jeans. So Hollister had the little rainbow. You had 7 jeans that had like stitching that was a 7. Yeah. Bitch, I don't know why that was such a thing, but it was. Right?
But see, that's a thing.
You could not wear Old Navy pants. Oh. You could not wear Old Navy pants. I have like 4 pairs of Old Navy pants and they were like $6 each because everything there is so cheap and they're great. Yeah. But when you're in school, like you could not wear a fucking Skechers. You could not. You would go home sick if you were wearing fucking Skechers at school. Like it was miserable.
Oh, no, for real. Back
and now you can just wear whatever. It's like body positivity. No, wear a crop top. Do literally this.
Do anything. It's so wild.
Oh, the other one, the fucking. It just gets me so bad because when I was in high school, like I have a very full figure. I have a big butt, and I never was able to find pants that fit your butt, but then also were tight enough around the waist.
Oh,
so you'd always have a gap in the back of your pants. I'm not the only girl who has felt this way. Now, it is okay if you take a fucking shoelace and you tie it around your belt loops and then you just fucking rip that shit tight in the back. And then you have your pants are cinched. You were not allowed to do that back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
We had a shoelace belt. You could fucking take your shoelace and tie it all around in the front.
Right.
That was it. That was the cut off. If you didn't, like, you would get mercilessly roasted. And that's the difference. Back in the day, you would get teased. It's not like now where you have all these people who are like, hey, we're going to stand up for the little guy.
Kevin and I went from a 5th grade elementary school to a 5th grade middle school halfway through during Christmas. Bye elementary school, 5th grade. Everyone loves us and knows who we are. And then we went to Philomath Middle School, and these kids were fucking monsters.
God, so bad.
Fucking horrible. Our teacher was this bitch. I think her name was Miss Wilson. She would burn popcorn every day. Every fucking day she would burn popcorn.
Intentionally?
I don't know. There's a button. It should be illegal to burn popcorn. I said this. It should be illegal. You burn popcorn? Jail. I don't know how you're burning popcorn. Don't gamble.
That's the highest turnover rate at the movie theaters is burning popcorn.
No, but
jail.
Even then, yeah, jail. But they don't burn popcorn that much. You basically wait for all the shit to pop and then you're like, poof. But microwave popcorn, it's not how you go, boop. Just set the shit for 2 minutes.
That's not true. I know someone who did the little boop and then almost lit that shit on fire.
You cannot walk away from popcorn.
This is that. There you go.
It's like a boiling a pot or putting something in the oven or a baby. You can't leave a baby. You're not going to leave your fucking popcorn. Every day, the smell of burnt popcorn, I'm like, this fucking bitch. And I made it my life's goal to not burn popcorn. Because every time I do it, I go, yeah, fuck this bitch. 5th grade ass.
Drama.
Butthole. But anyway, we got there, and like, I still remember like our fruit day. This one kid had like bit a pen and like ink all over his mouth. I have a twin brother, so we both did this together, right? We go to gym class, and you have to shower like naked. Right?
You shower fully clothed.
Okay. So good. But like, we went from a 5th grade elementary school where it was like parachute day. You know?
Field day.
It was just so fun. We didn't have to change clothes. So like, our first day of middle school, everyone.
Oh my God, you had the first day.
First day of coming back after Christmas break, right? And then there's this like locker room, and they're like, "Did you bring gym clothes?" And we're like, "What the fuck? Like, gym clothes?" So everyone changed. So then we did gym, and then afterwards, everyone had to shower, and it was crazy. The gym teacher was sitting there with a clipboard, literally checking you off, and you had to go shower, and then there was a dude passing out towels.
Did the school know that the teacher was in there with the clipboard?
Yes. And they're just like, little dicks, boop, boop. And you're like, you're not going through puberty, right? And so it was, middle school was the most insane shit ever because
I'm gooped.
Yeah, you're just like, your dick and balls are weird. And there's like, and then everybody goes through puberty at different times. So you're just like every single day or every other day, you're just like, wow, I haven't gone through puberty yet.
That's
Sweet.
horrible.
Yeah, it was traumatizing.
I remember having to change, but like girls are smart. So like I remember in middle school, girls would open a locker in the gym, and you'd open like multiple lockers.
Oh.
So then every girl had a little space to put her little butt.
That's good.
Yep.
It's just weird. But okay, not to like discredit like boobies or whatever, but like when it comes to wieners,
That's not true.
There's so much change from not puberty to puberty, right?
Oh.
We're talking about balls, we're talking about hair, we're talking about length, we're talking about it's like a gross flower. But it's weird. There's so many things, and all you're doing like every day, you're just like, well, maybe it was just me, but like you're just constantly comparing yourself to everybody else. And I'm sure women, it's different with the titties and the vaginas, but like,
well, back in the day, you used to not be. I feel like I'm so old saying that. Back in the day, well, it's like when I was. It's like what 2000, like 2 when I was in middle school. Like so, like that feels so fucking long ago.
Yeah.
But I remember being in middle school and like early 2000s, like you had to have titties. Again,
Yeah.
this is like new age. This is like newfangled body positivity where like you can be curvy and wear a crop top. Like I've always been an advocate for that. Like the beauty standards back then used to be so fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Where now everything is like super acceptable, especially in Portland. Like you can wear whatever you want.
I mean, I would say yes and no. I think, because I haven't been in high school in forever. So, I mean, let us know.
That's true.
But like middle school, elementary school, but mostly middle school, high school, probably the most horrible experiences.
It's like a social experiment.
Yeah, it's insane.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Do boys stuff their pants? Because when I was in middle school, genuinely, I would go to class with girls that had stuffed their bra. So you would go to gym class and you'd have to change, and you would literally have like tissue paper stuffed in your bra to make it look like you had something. It's miserable.
Think so. I never did. And I never knew of anybody doing that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So the girls,
but like I see people, they go out and they stuff their pants, but like, how do you hide that? Like if somebody's like, oh, I'm gonna suck your dick, and then you got a big ass cucumber in there or something. Unless you're on like Twitter.
I thought you meant metaphorical cucumber. And I was like, nice.
I don't know. I haven't really seen anybody stuff, but I mean, for girls, I could see them wanting to stuff. I
remember being in middle school and having girls like doing something and having like a piece of crumpled tissue paper fall out of their shirt, and you're like, it's kind of monstrous. That's miserable.
Everybody's body is completely different, and going back to that time, I mean, I'm probably still fucked up about it in some aspects of my life.
Absolutely.
Like the fact that like we had to go shower, and then you're just like a mutant trying to get your powers. You're just like, you know what I mean? You're just like, when do I get my pubic hair? But like, it's just so fucking stupid. And then you grow up and you're like, people don't even want the pubes anymore.
Yeah, it's full nude.
Like everyone wanted pubes like 20 years ago. They're like, oh, I want my dick hair in. And now they're just like, shave, shave, shave. Like people don't even care.
Oh, God.
Like, oh, okay. Side note. Have you ever used Nair? Yes, that's what happens when you use Nair. That's the sound. I have tried Nair on my underwear region for that hairless look, right? Now, let me tell you, Nair, I think, is made out of the same chemical that turned the Joker's skin white. The smell of it is horrible. But I talked to one of my friends about it, and then he found this like Nair for men, because you're going to manly stuff, but like
manly chemicals.
Chemicals for man. But I've tried it, and here's the thing. It kind of works, but it also can burn the shit out of all of your stuff. Now, I didn't get a chemical burn, but like, so any of the little foldy areas, like in between the legs, that skin isn't really thick, right? Also like ball skin or whatever, but like, I noticed it a lot, like in the fold of my leg, because that skin it's just, and I just had it in there or whatever. And then like,
but it's also like closed like a book in there.
Yeah. I think they say like, 10 minutes, whatever. I don't quote me on this, but like they say 10 minutes. And I was like, I'll just go for the full 10 minutes. And then I like was like spraying it off. And I was just like, what the fuck
was it like acid burn?
Yeah.
The hair was gone?
The hair was gone.
So it worked.
It worked, but oh man, like it was not a great moment. And I remember I told one of my friends in California about it, and he got into it because we were just talking about like, the hairless thing or whatever. Because you shave, but that doesn't last a long time. But yeah, we both had similar experiences where it was like, whoa, it burn your butthole.
I've been sugared.
What's that?
That's like a type of waxing.
Oh. So see, I would be down for that, where they basically just rip all the shit out.
Yeah. Sugaring's where they take hot wax. Well, I think is it sugar? Is it wax? Don't know.
It's probably the same. Sugar sounds so much better. Like, I'm going in for my
I think it is a sugar though, because it's melty, and then they basically let it melt on you like flubber, and then they rip it off. Yeah. So I remember going in, and my friend was like training, like doing like the esthetician stuff. So it'd be like a tattoo apprentice. You got to do so many tattoos, right? She was like, hey girl, do you want me to do like your brows or like your face or your legs? And I was like, I'll let you do my legs. And one of my friends was like, oh my gosh, will you do a Brazilian? And so the joke.
Now wait, is Brazilian okay?
Brazilian is booty hole.
Oh, I thought it was coochie.
I mean, I'm sure it's all of it, but to my knowledge,
Brazilian is a butthole?
Yeah.
What?
That's your butthole wax.
I always thought it was the front.
You get a cooch wax, or you get a. I'm pretty sure.
What? Well, no way. Hold on. Let's look it up because when people are like, I want a Brazilian, I just thought about like the landing strip.
Yeah, bikini wax versus Brazilian wax.
Oh my God! Anybody listening right now? Do you feel like an idiot like me? Okay.
I mean, yeah, Brazilian is. Let's just
the
triple
butthole?
check. On the other hand, Brazilian waxing is more of an intimate procedure. All of the hair from the front, back, and between the butt cheeks is removed for a smoother look.
Wow. Okay. I always thought people were like, oh, Brazilian. I thought Brazilian and bikini were the same thing.
No.
Oh, you're getting a butthole. Could you imagine you're in there and be like,
I couldn't. But see, that's the
you're
thing.
like, I'm here for a Brazilian, and they're just like getting all the sugar all up in the ass crack, and you're just like, well.
Well, my friend went to the same girl that I went to, and the ongoing joke was like, I met this girl super long time ago who was doing my sugaring, and we were joking, and I was like, you get to see my friend's butthole before I do? Because they say that some of the best relationships you have, like girls will go for the first time, and you got to like undress or whatever, and it's like a little shy, but then there's an ongoing joke that like the more you see them, you just go in there and like rip your pants off, and you're like, all right,
just
I'm ready.
Get it done.
So this week the drama is, and it's just like getting your nails done.
It is so weird when you don't have like any hair in your butthole. Well, okay, like look. It is the funniest. Okay.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Because I did the Nair thing, right? And that basically gets rid of everything. Now, there's always like tiny little hairs and things, right? And look, I don't want you envisioning hairs, but like tiny, like a girl mustache hairs, right? There's always like a little bit. So if you fart, if you fart, it can work its way out, right? But if there's no hair,
I already know where you're going.
It's literally. It's the funniest, weirdest thing because there's no.
Yeah, you're like farting between two balloons.
Yeah, it's so interesting when you just like completely.
You're so gross.
It's not gross. We just talked about it. Girls get it all the time. If you're a girl and you've had a Brazilian, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And then every time I've done it, like in the Nair thing again, I'm like.
You continue to do it?
I've only done it like 3 times. But for every time, it's like me, I don't like smoking weed. But every time I smoke weed, I'm like, oh yeah, I hate this. But it's the same thing with Nair. I'm like, oh, it's been a while. Let me try it again. And then I'm like, why did I do this again? I should actually. Okay, so I learned that a Brazilian is what, all and the butthole. And then a bikini wax is just the front.
Mm-hmm.
I love that they just got to a point where they're just like, can you just do the whole smile?
Yeah, can you just give front to back from bumper to bumper? There's our next t-shirt.
Oh my God.
From bumper to bumper. Bumper to bumper, Brazilian wax.
Yeah. No, it's just so funny. But
man.
And then the nice thing is like, you're not doing that for yourself. You know what I mean? Like you are, because like some people like that hairless vibe or whatever, but you're usually doing it to like for somebody else. Like the bleached butthole.
That's true.
Right? I mean, I feel like that's like a porno thing. Buttholes are supposed to be whatever color they're supposed to be. It's like your lips. A butthole is supposed to look like your lips.
Ew.
It's like the same.
I don't like that. I don't want my lips to touch now.
But like, I don't know who's like, oh, I don't like what my butthole looks like. Who's looking at their butthole? You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I'm going to get my butthole like bleached.
That sounds horrible. You're basically doing the same thing with Nair, so I don't know why you're talking about it.
I've never had my butthole bleached.
You basically have if you're using Nair.
Oh, no, that's different. Because that's like a lightening. It's like your teeth whitening, you know what I mean? But for your butthole.
Right. You're saying that like that's what bleaching is, not what Nair is, right?
It's different.
Right. But I thought you were just explaining what
lightening.
Nair was.
No. Nair is to get rid of the hair.
You have just described.
No. I mean, it could be the same. I've never compared. my butthole region. But you couldn't put Nair on your butthole.
I wonder, could we get a butthole count? So every time you say it, it just pings another one. And then it's like 8,
No, you
9.
could not put Nair on your butthole. You would die. It would be so uncomfortable because that skin isn't like,
right.
It's not tough. It's not like, it's not exposed to anything.
It's protected.
Yeah. But Nair is like, I mean, I don't know. If anybody's Naired their legs, it's not
It's not really a thing anymore.
Really?
People don't really use it. That's why I'm like shocked you're using it recently. People
it was like during the pandemic.
People do waxing.
It was like, I think I was like bored. It was like pandemic.
I was going to say you would have had to have been bored.
Bleach my hair. Like, what the fuck else was I going to do? But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, and you can shave. Shaving's all right. But the other thing too is anytime you do any, like, I don't know if you get this when when you shave your legs. I just shave my legs during swim team. But when you like shave your legs and you haven't done it in a while, don't your pants feel like wet? As a boy, as a man, I'm a man. Whenever I would shave my legs for swim team, because your legs never...
It's a sensation, yeah.
Yeah, my pants always would feel really wet. But I get the same if I do any like Nairs or anything. All day, your areas...
You're so funny.
It doesn't have any buffer. That's normally got a little bit of a... the hairs are like, stay away, pants.
Oh my God.
And when you don't have that, it's like... It just feels so weird. And then I'm also like, what the fuck am I doing this for? I mean, I haven't done it in a long time, but yeah, I burnt my genitals. No, not my genital. I would be interested to like check out actual like sugar wax or whatever. Yeah, but I don't know. Like,
you gotta go have someone do it.
I'm in a relationship now, so it doesn't matter.
That is also true. And
shaving's all right too, but then like, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. But some people really like it. Some people, it's like they really enjoy the thing, the hairless look.
I go through my phases.
Yeah.
Just depends on what phase of the moon is in. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, very interesting. So do people still get their buttholes? Like, do they get Brazilians anymore? Is that a thing?
Yeah, all the time.
I guess if you had like an OnlyFans and you were like, I mean, you don't have to have an OnlyFans, but like, if you were just like, hey, check out this hole as a woman, it'd probably
I think a lot of girls do it just for like maintenance, or like a vacation if you're going to be in a bathing suit, like things like that, I guess
that's true. I never really thought about that. Girls, whenever I see a girl in a bathing suit and they have to do any like crouch anything, I'm just like, that sucks. You know what I mean? Because a woman's bathing suit is nothing. There's nothing there.
One of my favorite videos was a girl who got one of the Skims. Like it was, I don't know if it was a micro bathing suit, but like it is, the lip coverage is that of a Dorito. that I'm not kidding. And this girl on social media had like regular coverage, like panties, right? That were like flat, like a seamless. And then she had it over and she was like, I can't even get one lip in this Dorito chip. So it's just kind of like, but that's also the other thing, like I was going to say, like my best friend was a dancer, worked at a strip club. And it was only until she worked at that strip club that she talked about like how much she began to love her body more, because you see so many other girls in Dorito chips wearing little things. And she was like, it was so funny because one night she came home and she was like, oh my gosh, Lex, like it was so cute. She was like, there was a girl there tonight and she had boobs that were just like yours. And she's like, they were so cute. And I was like,
thanks for the read.
Yeah. And she's just like, but it was cute, so that helps you like fall in love with your body more.
That's true. I just feel like we have just the weirdest standards for a human body.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's so crazy. We were just talking about the age thing earlier, and it's like, I feel like when you get to be like 40, like people's idea of 40 now is they're like, oh, what's it like to be close to death? And 40 isn't that old. 50 is not that old. Like 60 isn't even old anymore. Like, I hate this idea that you like have to get married. You have to be in a relationship. You have to, if you're not, then somehow you're like a garbage person.
Right.
Everybody gets in like, some people marry their high school sweetheart and then they divorce when they're 30. Or some people aren't in relationships or people die. Like all this types of shit happens. So like just because somebody like doesn't have kids or isn't married doesn't make them less of a person. But even like on The View, because we watch The View now, Greg watches it a lot, and now I watch it, which it's actually not bad. I really like it. But they talk about, because they're all older, but they talk about the beauty standards of how they're judged on age.
Right. They're judged on aging.
Yeah.
You know, well, look at how different they look in 10 years. And you're like, right, like I'm a human being.
There's no escaping aging.
Right.
And like they use companies, magazines, makeup, clothing companies, they all use older people as like, you don't want to be like this, so buy our product, you know? So anybody that's like 40 or 50 or 60 or whatever, they're using us as like this, you don't want to be like that. Oh, no. You have nice skin. Don't look like that. And it's like, what the fuck? People should age naturally.
Right.
Because then you get people in like Hollywood where they get all this work done. And then we're like, ah, ha, 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 ha. You look what you did to your face, stupid bitch.
Or like too much. Yeah, too much plastic surgery.
So like, it's so unfair. Like if a woman ages naturally with no work, we're like, dumb bitch. And if they get all this work done, you're like, you dumb bitch. Like it's crazy. Like you can't win. They're like you wrote a book at 50. Oh, good job, I guess. Wow. So you know what I mean? And then if you write a book at 20, they're like, oh, wow, you entrepreneur.
Well, there was so this motivational speaker was like on a podcast and he was talking to these two guys. And he started talking about how, you know, we assume that when you're 50, you're like going to die.
Oh, right.
And he was saying that, you know, one of the guys was like, I think like 53. And so he's just kind of grilling him, asking him questions. And he goes, all right, well, he goes, how would you feel? You know, you're 53. How would you feel if I told you you are just getting to halftime?
Right.
And he's like, you had just done the first quarter and the second quarter of your life.
Right.
And he's like, you're at halftime. He's like, so you got the last half of the game that you have already set yourself up for.
Yeah.
You got halftime. It's time to, you know, figure your shit out and come out with a plan. And like, it was really cool because the guy just was like, I'm so amped up right now. He's like, I've never felt this way before. Like, you just gave me a new lease on life. And it's like, but that's true.
Yeah.
Like, you could literally live until you're 90, 100 years old.
Well, like people now, I mean, there are already people living to 100. So, you know, I'm 40, 41. So who knows what's going to happen in 20 years. And then everybody might live to 110. And then what? But it's just like our society, we have a system, it's all ingrained in us to discredit people on certain things. Oh, you're 50? Okay, I'm going to mark you down. It's all mental, right? Oh, you drive a shitty car? Boop, mark down. Oh, you're single? Mark down. Oh, you don't have a kid? Mark down. Like every single thing in our society is designed when you mentally mark people down and discredit people for things. I would love on Drag Race or any show, even in newspapers, they always bring up the age. Hi, I'm such and such queen and I'm 21. Who gives a fuck? We need to stop. What a world it would be if they were just like, hi, I'm such and such queen. And they didn't bring up age at all.
Right.
Same with like newspapers. Every newspaper would be like, Ryan May won $1 million. But they'd be like, Ryan May, 41, won $1 million. Like, why does it age matter? Why? I mean, because what happens is you see, oh, Ryan May won $1 million at 21. Good for him. Wow. Right. Or Ryan May won $1 million at 84. And you're like, like it's all a bias that we have and we continuously do. But like, why?
So I was watching this post on social media where it was Tina Fey at an award ceremony and she was talking about, you know, George Clooney was going to win this award. But Tina Fey was talking about his wife, Amal, and how she did all of this. She's like a fantastic person, is like crazy and like the government does all of this like volunteer work. And then Tina Fey was like, now we're presenting this award to Amal's husband. And then everyone started laughing because it's George Clooney, who's fantastic.
The Lifetime Achievement
But
award,
like, yes. So like how could... And it's the same mind fuck as to when you're awarding a woman something, but you're going to call someone's wife, right?
Oh, okay. So that's also crazy, right? But you know, we used to do that Ms. MRS and then MISS and then MS. So we don't do the MRS anymore.
For married.
Yeah.
Really?
No, they don't really do it anymore. Okay. So back in the day, if a woman was married, it was MRS.
Ms.
MERS. Mistress.
Well,
MRS.
there's Mrs. and
then
Miss.
MISS was single garbage.
Miss, yes.
Yeah. And then MS was also like, I can't remember, but there was 3. There's 3 things, and you were supposed to do each one based on how garbagey the woman was.
That's not true.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's not true.
So if you were married, it was MRS.
Right.
But like, I don't know what the fuck that even matters, because they're basically trying to devalue you as a woman and giving you a different.
That's not necessarily true, because Miss is not bad. Miss means younger. Ms. or Mrs. means older. So when I worked at a restaurant, one of my bosses, and he was so fucking smart, he's like, Lex, to me, every girl is Miss. And so, he'd be like, oh, Miss, the bathroom's right over here. And the girl would be like, you. And so he always said every girl is a Miss. Yeah. Because it was super flattering.
But now, like, we just do like MS, MS, whatever, Ms. But like, I just find it so weird that like we have all these different categories. Be like, oh, are you married? Oh, cool. I can write this differently. It's weird. Mm-hmm. I just want them to stop focusing so much on age, focusing on like, why? Tell me why. Why do we need to know? Oh, this person died? Sure. Tell me the age when they die, I guess. But does it matter? No. Like, right. Because all you're doing is so-and-so died at 40. Oh, they died at 80. Oh, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, they died at 7. Like, age doesn't matter, because all it is just, it's a bias. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're 80 and you got to work at this job. Oh, what happened? Like, nobody cares. But same with Drag Race. Everybody is getting older all the time. Mm-hmm. You're not escaping it. Unless you die. Haha, you escaped it. But like, you will be 40 one day. Mm-hmm. You will be 40. You will be 50. All the things that you've teased people for and dogged people on, you will have gray hair. You will go bald. You will have thinning hair. You will have a gray beard. Like, there's no getting away from it.
Do your skincare.
Yeah, but it's just like, when you're growing up, everybody just has this idea that like you're going to somehow escape aging, and it's not going to happen.
I remember being a kid, and I would like 50 is old. You're like, what? 50 is so old. And now you're like, oh yeah, Bobby's 50. Like, yeah, he's great. He just ran a marathon. Like,
yeah, 50 is not old. But I mean, but when you're younger, like the idea, it just feels so far away, but like, it's really not. And I see in the next 50 years, people are going to be like, we live in like people are going to live till they're like 150 at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine if you could get new organs, if it wasn't such a big deal, like clone people or whatever, clone your organs? I mean, we get into like the Black Mirror shit, but like, if you had organ failure and they're like, we grew you another shit, here you go, then people would just live so much longer. Probably not great for the planet, but like, it would just be wild,
right?
How long people are going to live. Because like, I don't know, 1,000 years ago, you'd be like, oop, I ate the wrong berry, dead. Oh, I drank water in the wrong spot, diarrhea for 3 weeks, dead. You know, oh, I had a child, dead.
Right.
You know, like, I don't know how people back in like medieval times, they just must have had diarrhea all the time. You know what I mean? Like Game of Thrones, like, how are you not having diarrhea all the time? Well, we learned a lot today. We learned to not near the regions.
Near the regions.
Yeah. Learn from me. Or don't.
Or try yourself. We've warned you, but that's okay.
Just cut the time down by 1/3. If it says 10 minutes, do 7. Don't go for the full time that it tells you.
This motherfucker knows nothing.
It's like our pizza, our oven when we cook pizza. You always got to undercut it a couple minutes.
No, you listen to me. You do a test strip. You don't do the whole
like
fucking
when they do
thing.
Carpet, or and then when you're cleaning
carpet. No, when you fucking go to do your hair, you do a test strip to make sure your hair doesn't turn a fucking weird ass color, because it has to do processing. They have to test your shit.
We also learned about Drag Race. And
a couple others. We just learned about reality TV.
Yeah. Survivor. Alexa really wants to be on the challenge.
Please.
Anybody.
Please.
She works out. She's kind of a badass bitch. She will bring the drama.
Oh, however you need it. Please.
She will bring the drama. And she will also be a good competitor.
Yes, and I will go slightly crazy if you put me in a house full of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I'm perfect.
She would be really good on the show. Johnny Bananas.
Yeah, bring me back
please.
for fresh meat. Bring me back. You guys need a fresh meat season where you bring veteran and newbie, but like full newbie, like me.
Yeah.
Don't grab someone from Big Brother. Don't give me a show from
Yeah,
Amazing
they do
Race.
that a lot. They're doing that a lot
Me,
now. Yeah.
please.
I also learned that Brazilian means your butthole.
Brazilian means the whole thing, the whole pasture.
The whole, yeah, you're getting out of the United States, Central America, and South America. We're just getting the whole America.
The whole continent.
Yeah, just everything. But it just, I don't know, it's weird. Like most of the society, if they see like a girl with hairy legs, are like, bad hair, bad. But like, bodies are weird and they just grow hair. Men grow hair, women grow hair. But we just, in our society, we're just like, armpit hair on a girl. No. Like, so girls are literally every day, they're like, goodbye hair.
Yeah.
Goodbye hair.
It's a tough job.
Gotta
keep.
fit into society because whatever.
Although I will say the best part is like when girls do the everything shower, and girls out there, you know exactly what I mean. Partners of girls, you also know what I mean, because the everything shower is like crucial and it's a big staple of time. But my favorite thing is like when you shave your legs and you're like fully lotion, moisturized, exfoliated, get a coffee scrub. They're incredible. And then afterwards, my friends and I used to always say like you're slippery.
Oh yeah.
You're always slippery, or you're like a glazed donut.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, do you have to clap?
Oh yes. Ooh.
That was a good one.